afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, March 16, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. There are truths so potent that they shatter illusions we hold about reality. Make sure that you're in a comfortable position. No outside interference. Relax into the body. As still as a statue. Focused on your breath rising and falling. Other truths have been buried, distorted, or feared for centuries. And when brought to light, they don't just challenge the way we live, they dismantle it entirely. These truths are not optional. They are not gentle whispers of inspiration. They are the fire that guarantees our awakening. Now that the profound revelations that I'm going to share are not the soft, comforting teachings that lull us into spiritual complacency. They pour into our soul like molten lava, burning away all illusion and delusion until nothing remains but the undeniable truth of who we are. There is no way to hear this and remain the same. What I share with you will shift you and wake you up. Now, they might shake up everything the world has taught you. Because make no mistake, the world thrives on keeping you asleep. But this is your moment. If you're ready to break free from illusion and step fully into the greatest truth, then here we go. 1, death is an illusion. You have already died countless thousands of times. Death was not death, but another form of life. Consciousness seems to be our essence, and once we leave our body, we exist as pure consciousness, DJ Catagian. Death is not an end, not a loss, and certainly not something to fear. It is a doorway to meet the real you, an eternal being who knows they are at one with the God Source. And to reach this state, we must shed all illusions and experience reality in its purest form. When we grasp this truth, any fear of death dissolves away like mist dissolving in the morning sun. What remains is pure, unshakable presence that is untouched by anything that comes and goes in this world. Your soul is not new to this game of life. You have already died and come back again and again and again. Reincarnation is a real thing. There are many documented cases of 7-year-old children recalling past lives, sharing very specific details they could not have otherwise known. For example, one boy remembered where he buried a diamond ring in a plant pot before he died. He swore that he would return in his next life to give that ring to his beloved soulmate he left behind. The boy walked miles from his house each day to search for his ring. And then one day he found it. His past life wife burst into tears when the boy shared all the details he remembered. This is just one account of many. Some people who have died and come back to share about what they learned have said that at the very moment we die, most souls are instantly reincarnated into another body. The time between lives is only a few minutes in earthly terms. Though NDE, near-death experience survivors describe the afterlife as timeless, as if each moment contains an eternity. That's why on this planet, time is it's a constraint. It was created to constrain us. Our soul learns and grows so much on earth that it wants to quickly return to perfect the experience of love in the body and to continue releasing its attachments and karma. It is said that every time we are reborn, we shed another layer of our identity or thoughts and beliefs about ourselves that we've been clinging to. We experience the greatest reset and reboot there could ever be. Think about it. Who are you? Or think you are? Today is not even the same self you were 10 years ago, last year, even yesterday. So who are you, really? What you call you is nothing more than a collection of shifting experiences, a story written in sand, constantly being reshaped by the tides of time. This deeper truth is that consciousness never dies. It only transforms, shifting from form to formlessness, from experience to experience. To embrace the truth about death, we realize that we are not this body, and certainly not this ego mind, nor its multitude of stories. We understand deep within our being that we are a soul, an infinite spiritual light, a radiant extension of Source itself, like a ray of the sun. We can never be disconnected from our origin. Even when clouds pass through, the sun remains unwavering and bright. This light of pure infinite awareness has been watching it all unfold since the beginning of time, and it will keep watching long after this lifetime fades. So in truth, we were never born, and so we can never actually die. Knowing in our hearts that we are an eternal soul liberates us from all suffering in this world. 2, you are the eternal observer who can access knowledge within all of your lifetimes. Whenever you are able to observe your mind, you are no longer trapped in it. Eckhart Tolle. The eternal presence within you has witnessed every breath, every experience, and every lifetime you have lived. This presence is not the mind, not the body, not the personality you wear in this incarnation. It is pure, unbounded, infinite awareness. This eternal observer is always behind all thought and action. The greatest illusion of this world is that knowledge must be learned eternally, gathered through books, teachers, and experience. But the truth is, you already hold the wisdom of every lifetime within you. Nothing is truly lost. Every insight, every breakthrough, every lesson from all of your past lives is encoded within the data bank of your soul. The only thing blocking this knowledge is identifying with the small temporary self. When we believe we are only this body, this mind, this single human story, we disconnect from the vast, infinite consciousness that we truly are. But when we quiet the distractions, when we step back and rest in the awareness beyond thought, we begin to remember. Many people who have gone through deep hypnotherapy work have returned with a new memory or deeper understanding or comprehension they didn't have before. One woman recalled a past life as a pianist. After the session, she could suddenly play intricate piano pieces, despite never having touched a piano before. You may have glimpsed the feeling of deep knowing before, a wisdom that feels like it's coming from beyond your years, an unshakable intuition that guides you even when logic cannot explain why. This is your soul memory, the voice of all your lifetimes speaking through you. And to access this ancient knowledge, you do not need to seek, struggle, or strive. You simply need to stop, be still, and listen. Drop into your breath. Follow it inside until you are fully present with the eternity of life that you are. Let go of the need to figure it out. Trust that all the answers are already within you, waiting to arise in perfect clarity. When we wake up, we realize that we are not the seekers of truth, but the living embodiment of it. Every lifetime, every experience, every teaching exists within you now. The question is not whether you have access to this wisdom. The bigger question is, are you ready to remember? And 3, desire is the portal of enlightenment. Desire is the root of all suffering, yet it is also the path to liberation when understood, comprehended deeply. Buddhist proverb. Desire is not the block to your freedom. Attachment to desire is the root of suffering. There is a vast difference between being committed and devoted to your dream life versus gripping it so tightly that you strangle the very magic that wants to unfold. The tighter we cling, the more resistance we create. And when we try to force desire into our own timeline, we create tension, contraction, and frustration. But when we relax into it, stop chasing it, and instead meet desire as a teacher, something shifts. Do this. Think of a desire that deeply matters to you. It can be anything. Now, take a few minutes to sit with your desire, breathe into it, and feel its reality. What does this longing feel like in your body? Where do you feel it inside? When you deeply allow yourself to feel this energy behind the desire without grasping for the outcome, you break free from the suffering of attachment. The desire no longer has power over you, and you stop trying to control it. This is the moment something deeply miraculous happens. You realize that at the core of every desire is a longing for connection, expansion, and something greater than the small self. When we drop into any experience of desire, we eventually dissolve its hooks in us and can follow it back to the source from which it came from. At the core of every desire is the same truth: oneness, love, and divine presence. When desire is fully understood, it is not an obstacle to enlightenment, but a force that fuels growth and movement in this lifetime. Each desire, when met with openness instead of control or resistance, becomes a pathway to deeper freedom and truth. By riding its current with pure awareness, you allow it to carry you further than any act of renunciation ever could. So the real question is, will you let desire be your prison, or will you let it be your portal? The real meaning of enlightenment is to gaze with undimmed eyes on all darkness. Nikos Kazantzakis. So we go into a constant seeking. First, we go to outside of ourselves, and eventually, we end up going within. Now, we don't go within on, once in a great while. Our commitment is eternal. And there's all forms of reasons that have been established in this civilization as to why we don't have, in other words, when we come into the body, when we reincarnate into the body, we don't have memory. Why is that? You've heard me share one perspective is that we have been, it's blanked, that our memory is blank. Now, is that permanent? No, it's not. But see, the dilemma is, in a way, is it a negative? No, because we don't know who and what we are. When we come into these bodies, we have no clue. We have a remnants of the past life that we left. And so you're usually looking at 3 to 7 years old before that remnants fades. I know this because I had conversation with several children throughout the years that they would remember exactly, verbatim almost, just they would remember how they died, how they ended up leaving the body, to precision. Every single piece of it. One child remembered they were in this life they remembered they were in a western town, some town here in America. And they came out of a saloon, and they weren't paying any attention to the right or the left, so they just walked out into the street because they were going to cross the street into the general store. And as they walked across to the center of the street, of course it was dirt. We're not talking about paved roads and that type of thing. And there was a gunfight. 2 men, one on one side, one on the other, drew on each other. And the bullet from the man on the right went through this being's neck and killed him. And he told me that's that's exactly what happened. That's why. And then he's in this life, and at that age at the time he was 3 years old. And he was able to tell me exactly what had happened at 3 years old. So he retained the memory of that. Another boy in a past life rode motorcycles, okay? And he was in a gang, and he had a leather coat, or a group, I guess, however you want to describe it. And he was riding his motorcycle, and he hit some loose ground, and he got in a motorcycle accident. As his motorcycle went on its side and pinned him, and it was dragging him across the pavement, a tractor trailer ran over him and his bike. A tractor trailer, semi-truck, okay? Because the bike moved so quickly and it was so low to the ground, it was beyond the sight of the truck driver. So he just ran over him. And this little boy remembered that exactly what happened. And he said, then he was out of the body. So we retain some of the residual information, certain parts, and then after about 7, 8, or 9, it's gone. Because I went back and I talked to those children, they didn't have a clue as to what I was talking about. There was nothing there. It was a blank stare. So we come into this life, all of us, we have residual, then it fades, and then we have our gain programming, we get our personality and our character and everything, and the life that we're in. And at times we challenge the fact that why don't we know our past lives? Why can't we just plug into our past lives when we want to? Is to see. First, we have the childlike curiosity because we'd like to know what kind of lives have we been in? What kind of lives have we experienced? Maybe some of the information in those lives will help us in this life. See? Now, is it there? Yes, it's within our soul. Why can't we access it? First, we've got to discover who and what we are. You can't just say through ego mind, well, I'm a God, pure consciousness in the body. This is where we go deep within. This is why we have these, one of the main reasons we have these meditations year after year, is so that it can assist helping us discover who and what we are. Have an intimate relationship with the God source, the pure consciousness that we are. Learn and see, then we open up all of these pathways, all these gateways to the center or core of our being, the God. And then we realize that we are omnipotently powerful, supreme manifesting, abundant beings that never die. And when we do discover this and we embrace it fully, 100% confidence, 100% faith, 100% trust, the fear, anxiety, the stress, the worry leaves us. Because that isn't us. It's the ego mind. And we leave the ego mind. It's still there, but we no longer participate in it. And we use it, we then begin to master it by being in our heart mind. So by being in the heart mind, we're able to master the ego mind. And then when we do that, this is all the process that we decide to do. No one decides for us. This is something that we embrace, each of us, whenever it may be, this lifetime, the next lifetime. Because eventually, we will discover who and what we are. And when we do that, we will be at total peace. We will be in our natural state of being. Right now, the majority of the civilization, and if I go as far as to say all of it, maybe, is not in a natural state of being. It is in an unnatural state of being. Conflict, pain, sorrow, anguish is not our natural state of being. This is why we become so enticed in the physical material world. Our natural state of being is total gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, happiness. That's our natural state of being, deep, eternal love. Now you can feel how this takes effect when we choose to discover by going within. Where we see things, we experience things within us that we have experienced motions, feelings, things that we're like gripping onto. I mean, just strangling and won't let go of. And then we let go, we surrender those. They fall by the wayside, they disintegrate. And we become more and more embraced by the God that we are. And more of all of this other stuff, it literally disintegrates. It's not there. Doesn't it make sense that we know that by being an ego mind, it's almost like landmines, right? And sometimes we'll step on a landmine, which is the ego mind, which sucks us into worry, stress, fear, anxiety, pressure, intimidation, manipulation, greed. All those things are ego mind. And you see, we get to the point where we begin to recognize these ego mind traps. And we say, okay, I know what that is, so I am not going to step there. Because I've been there, I've gone into it. And the ego mind has enveloped me. So I don't care to go there. I prefer to go within and embrace the God that I am. And not that. And the positive thing about this is that the ego mind is there for us to do that eventually. It teaches us the things that we don't care to experience because we already have thousands of times before. Why would we, as I have said before, why would we constantly do that? Well, number one, we haven't been able to open the doorway to our past lives because we haven't, isn't it interesting? Because we haven't discovered who and what we are. And if we don't discover who and what we are, and we are literally continually caught in physical material world, we will forever be an ego mind. Lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And this has been proven out throughout existence. And then when we get to the comprehension of saying, well, I don't care to do that anymore. I've done that. I'm deeply grateful for it. And I'm deeply grateful for my ego mind for teaching me these things. But I'm no longer interested in being embraced by the ego mind. So then you start to go to heart-mindedness. You move into the heart mind. You move out of the head into the heart mind. You know when you move into the heart mind, it's a feeling that you have. It's a lightness. A heaviness is ego mind. And you feel the difference when you move down into heart-mindedness, which is basically the center of your chest. And when you're there, there's much difference between heart mind and ego mind. You know, heart mind is actually pain and suffering. Yes, there's moments of joy and bliss and that type of thing, but they're very short-lived. Heart-mindedness is our true natural state of being. And we're able to use heart-mindedness to master ego mind. So ego mind finds peace and then begins to dissipate and no longer is. Then at that point, or that stage, however you want to put it, we continually embrace the God that we are. Then we discover the fact that we can plug into all of our past lifetimes, all of them, without worry, stress, fear, emotionality. It's because we're in heart mind that we've embraced the God that we are. So we have no fear. There's no instability. You know, there's no prison walls that we've put up around us. And now we just flow. We float with it. We embrace everything. We love everything. And then we know that we can tap into all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. We can tap into it whenever we choose. Tap into all your past lives. You know, take a look-see over here 300 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. And see, as the God that you are, that you were in that particular life. Not only that, you'll be able to, when I say plug into the cosmic force, the energy of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. This means all dimensions. This means all existences. This means the whole kit and caboodle. Beyond universe, beyond consciousness, beyond existence, and then further. We can plug into that. Why? Because we are part of it. See, it's an inevitability. It's a discovery for all of us. And this is the only path that you can awaken yourself to knowing how omnipotently powerful the being in that body is. The God-isness. You know, the power of source creation. It's you. It's each and every one of us. It's all species of intelligent life. It's all, in all galaxies, in all universes, and beyond that. It's never ending. And we are forever. We change form. We leave material, physical form, right? We leave a body, and we enter another one. Is it the same? No, it's different. Look different. Yeah, you know, different surroundings, that type of thing. And this is part of what we do. And we are here, unbeknownst to popular demand, to enjoy these lives. Does that mean that we don't have challenges? Does that mean we aren't faced with certain things? No. It means that we enjoy everything. Because we know that this is a limited engagement. We discover that this body is a limited engagement for this material physical life. And to do what we choose to do, and that you never can screw your life up ever. You'll never be able to screw your life up, no matter if you think you have, or that you're screwed up. These are all perfection happenings that you, as a soul, are to learn from. All of it, every bit of it. And then when you discover that you're the manifester, that you're the master and commander of your life, that you create your life, that you create your destiny, your future, then you begin to open up all the doors to the God within you. And then when you desire something, it's there. It's effortless. Not what we've been taught. Not at all what we've been taught. Grapple and strive and pull and push. Force. You know, hurry. Got to get there, got to get there, got to get there. And all along, it's the opposite. Like attracts like. So when you're in a constant state of deep eternal love and knowing the God that you are within that body, your vibrational frequency is very high, and so is the universe's. So it matches. Like attracts like. So all the streams of abundance coming to each one of us is constant. And anything that we choose or desire is there. And it's for us to discover. Is it a race? No. It's not like the rat race on this planet where everybody's shuffling and hurrying and rushing, and most of the time they don't know where to. This is about joy and peace and tranquility. deep eternal love for yourself and all things. This is about knowing that every being that comes across or you come across in this life alone is there for a reason, whether it's 10 seconds or 50 years. Doesn't make any difference. They're there to give you a heads up about you. Do you reflect? These are your reflections of you. Everybody is. Back and forth with each and every one of us. We're all teachers. We're all students. And whether we know it or not, some of the most frustrating beings that come into your life are your greatest teachers. And the majority of us blow it off. We don't, pay much attention to it. We don't look at it that way. And you say, well, I can't stand that being over there. I can't stand them. Why can't you stand them? What is it? You ask yourself that. Why is it I can't stand them? Don't know them, never met them before, can't stand them. Or is it because they're a reflection of a part of me that I don't choose to embrace? See, we begin to embrace and comprehend we never die. We don't die. We were never born. The body's born, but we're not the gods that we are within the body. Or how about the body being within us? I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through your nose, and an easy and full breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focusing on your breath rising and falling. There are no coincidences or accidents in this world. Nothing is by chance. It is all a reflection, indication, expression, and manifestation of your body-mind's vibration. Your vibration is determined by the thoughts and feelings you choose to experience, which are also being sent out into this universe. Your body-mind is like a massive radio tower that emits a personal signature, energy, which is constantly being received by this universe. Positive feelings and thoughts create easy healing and satisfying experiences, while negative thoughts and feelings attract situations that leave us with a dark, lonely, and impoverished experience. For today, hold your attention on the most powerful vibration there is, love. Start by turning your radio tower so it's working at 100% by practicing self-love of yourself no matter what happens today. This commitment releases all negative possible accidents from entering your vibrational field. You'll win every battle with pain, poverty, and failure. Imagine what it will be like to be self-loving and self-accepting just for the next 24 hours. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We'll return here Monday, March 17, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you, nor outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.